Hey guys, how are you going? How's your business going? How's your life going? How are your relationships going? How's your health going? These are all really important questions because we are more than just our business. We're more than just being a partner. Often we're building our businesses that are part of our lives and we want them to be as sustainable as possible. I'm not talking sustainable in the eco sense. I'm talking about sustainable in the fact that the businesses that you're growing, you want to love them. You want them to lift you up. Half the time we want them to fit around our lives and our families, not necessarily the other way around. Now, let's see how we're sitting here. I had a bit of a realization in the last couple of weeks, and it was actually last week was a bit of an anniversary for me. It was a bizversary, I guess you could say. It's my anniversary in business, and it's actually been 8 years since the moment when I registered my very first business, and that was an online business. So at the time I was still working full-time with BHP, the big Australian. I was pregnant with my first child, and I had this awesome business idea, and I just thought, look, I'm just going to do it. And I jumped. I knew that opportunities only have a certain shelf life, and I registered the name, I picked up the trademark, and then I developed it. And I developed it while I was on maternity leave. So that first business grew to over 6 figures in revenue within, about 15 months or so. And since then, I've created two businesses that were turning over more than 6 figures and multiple brands within those businesses as well, which has been a really great, exhilarating experience for me. Plenty of highs, plenty of deep, deep lows. And throughout that time, I've learned so many lessons, and I really want to share some of my main lessons with you today, just on this chat. Like I said, I could share so many more, but I just wanted to hone it down to 8 lessons from 8 years in business, and in particular in online business. Okay, so let me dive in. So the very first lesson I have is that business building is a marathon. It's not a sprint. So with keeping that in mind, we really want to pace ourselves. You're in for the long haul. So if you were running and you were running a marathon, you'd stop at the drink stops, grab a drink, you'd prepare for it, you'd make sure that you had adequate sleep and you ate well. Same as business, you want to be looking after your body, nourishing yourself with good food and sleep. And especially in the early years of building my business, that's where I compromised. I stayed up late. I was building my business around babies. It's like the only time the house was quiet was really between, the hours of 8 and 11 p.m. at night. And they were my 3 magic hours where I basically built my business. In fact, 8 to 11, maybe even 8 to 12, sometimes 8 to 1 a.m., which is not sustainable. So I was compromising my health in that. I wasn't pacing myself for the marathon. And indeed, that took a toll on me. It took a toll on my marriage. It took a toll on my health. And it possibly even took a toll on my relationship with my kids. Some days I was just too tired to engage with them. So I'm not going to beat myself up about that. That's how it was at that time. And when you do have a business, you've got to put in those hard yards to get ahead at times. But I just want you to be aware that it's a marathon and it's not a sprint, and make sure that you're looking after yourself for the long run. Okay, so saying that, pacing yourself, also just want you to be aware that, and this was me, I'm an opportunity driven. I get excited about my ideas and I want to implement them as fast as possible. And again, getting back to the marathon, not a sprint. If I'm, there's been times when I've rushed and I've been sprinting, not doing a nice, a jog that's going to take me a while, and I've rushed through things. I haven't checked. I've taken, what I thought might have been easy options, and I've lost money in the process. So I may not have reviewed all the options in a project. And one example was my Home Detox Bootcamp when I initially set it up. Now, when I built my first website in 2009, everything had to be custom coded and built with a computer developer. A few years later, 5 years later, when I launched Home Detox Bootcamp, WordPress was amazing, the capability there. But I didn't take the time to really look at that. I got that custom coded into my main Sustainababy site, which cost me thousands of dollars in web development fees. Like the first 2 rounds of Home Detox boot camp just paid off my web development fees, which were like $8,000 or something. It was ridiculous. So I rushed into that. I didn't look at all my options on the table. I was sprinting. I was rushing. I wasn't having a marathon, looking about me, looking after myself, thinking about my decisions. So, couple of lessons in there. I've probably crammed a couple of lessons in that one. But yeah, business building is a marathon, not a sprint. On the other hand, opportunities do have a shelf life. So if you know that there's one, awesome opportunity that you really should be implementing, focus on that and clear out the clutter and narrow in on that one. All right. Lesson number 2 is to build your dream team. You can't do it all. I know I at times think that I can do it all, or I want to do it all. It's kind of, you control when you do it, it's done to the standard that you want. And often if you delegate or subcontract out, things aren't always done perfectly, but they can still be done good enough. So what you really want to be ultimately doing as you grow your business and, step into this space where you can ultimately become CEO of a business, and that can be CEO with 2 staff, it doesn't have to be 200 staff. You want to be building your dream team. Now you can outsource to subcontractors, and my subcontractors have helped me build my business to be what they are today, especially my branding expert and web developer have just been gold and so invaluable to my team. But also you can recruit, and you can take on your own PA, or, even someone to help you with social media or something like that, and actually have an employee. They can be a casual employee. They don't have to be some VA off in the Philippines or anything like that. You can have someone in your own town, and I've got that too, and that they've been an immense help in my business, Beck has. So building your dream team of this awesome support around you enables you to work in the area of where you're really good at. So for my, which for me is creating my content, writing the content for my podcast, recording my podcasts and my blogs, and supporting the members in my online programs, or coaching one-on-one with my coaching clients. That's stuff that I'm really good at and that I can't really outsource. So I want to be getting help in all the other aspects of my business to enable me to work in that area of my zone of genius. So I'm going to ask a question to you, and you can type it in the comments as you're watching this video. So what do you currently outsource or delegate in your business? And if you are doing everything yourself, what is the first thing that you're going to outsource or, delegate to somebody else? So pop that in the comments below. And just so you know, the very first thing, despite my original website build and the branding for Sustainababy when I created that, because I did outsource that from the start. I was freaking having a baby at the same time, so I outsourced that. But day-to-day business, the first thing I outsourced was my bookkeeping. And I can tell you, when I outsourced that, I had like 30 more hours a month, because that was back in the days of running a retail business and dealing with MYOB. These days I'm in Xero. It's so much easier. Everything's like so much more systematized, and it's so much better. But all those improvements and all the move over and everything, my bookkeeper took care of that, and Linda did an amazing job. Okay, lesson number 3 is to invest in, you got it, invest in you. You are the biggest asset in your business, apart from your email list, of course, and your customers. But you are so, so important. And okay, it's investing in you, in your well-being, in your sleep and nutrition, like we've already talked about. But it's investing in your learning. The best value and the best growth I've had in my business is looking at people, in online business or business, they might be a few steps ahead of me or even years ahead of me, and working with them, like getting some mentoring from them, or maybe doing one of their online courses. But I've actually found the best value I've got has been from having a business coach and being part of a mastermind with people at a similar level to me. But especially that coach, like a really decent coach, can shave years, and I mean literally years, off your business journey, and also save you from making some really costly, in terms of money and time, mistakes. So invest in you, whether it's just a small course so you can learn how to run your own Facebook ads, or getting someone to help you with the strategy and your business model and piecing it all together. Lesson number 4, I've spoken about this before in this community, and there's a Facebook, I think I popped a training in that I can teach you how to do it yourself if you live in Australia, and that's to protect your IP. So what you're putting out in the world, it's your genius, it's your creativeness, it's yours. So it could be your business name, it could be the name for your e-course, it could be a name of a product. So you want to protect that IP, get a trademark. Because if you don't have the trademark, you don't own it. You need, someone can just whip it out from under your feet. So you don't want to have gone, all these months or even years building a business just for someone to launch a business with the same name, but they just happen to trademark it, and then you have to change everything. Yes, I've seen that happen, and I've also been on the other end where people have tried to steal my business name and my product names, but I've had my trademark and I've been able to stand on my own 2 feet and get them to change what they're doing. They didn't like it. Sure enough, I was abused. Not everyone in business is nice. Not everything in business is nice. And there's some nasty people out there, but still, you just protect your IP. I'll leave that one there. Okay, so this one, lesson number 5 is a little bit similar to investing in you in terms of, getting a coach to really shortcut the journey. But this one's a little bit more specific, and I'm a little bit blunt how I say this, but it's expensive to be dumb. I'm not telling you to go out there and increase your IQ. I don't think that's really that possible anyway. But I'm really talking about the tech aspect of your business here. And I see this a lot with my coaching clients. They're awesome on the creative stuff. Like they can service their clients and blog and talk on videos to the cows come home. But oh my God, Facebook ads, it's doing my head in. Like setting up an email, sending out a sequence, all that sort of stuff. A sales funnel, my goodness, what's a funnel? I can't, do all that, And it's tricky, I get it. And if you're really driven by your right brain, switching to your left brain for some people can be really tricky, or vice versa. The left brain can find it really hard to be really creative. But I'm just telling you that if you're not even prepared to even look at that other side, you can be paying and you can get ripped off. That's what I'm ultimately trying to say here. You can get ripped off. And I have seen this with some of my friends, people in some of those roles. So it might be a Facebook ad agency, or it could be, I had one friend who was running an online business, a retail business, and her web developer, and she said was deliberately keeping me dumb. Like they didn't want me to learn anything. Like I couldn't DIY anything in my web page. And these days websites are so easy to make your own, changes to. I'm not saying all web developers are like that. Like I've got a really good trust with mine, but it's expensive to be done. So, for example, I used to do my ads and then I outsourced them and then I brought them back in-house. And it came a time where I was just looking at my cash flow and seeing how much money I was paying for everything. Again, things can make really good sense to outsource, keep you working in your zone of genius, but things change over time too. Like it might be that you're taking a pivot in your business like I was, and my cash flow took a hit in the meantime, so I needed to bring some things that were outsourced back in my business, and Facebook ads was one of those. And then I just, invested in myself, did a few courses, and I thought, gee, you're paying someone $1,000 a month to do this when I can just do it based on campaign, and it might take me 10 minutes to upload here or there. And then I was still doing, can still create all the content and send it to them what to do. So I'm still doing my copy, my videos, my PDFs and everything. They just have to upload it into Facebook. It's not that hard to do. It really wasn't that hard to do. And it can be expensive to be done. Yes. All right. So over to you. What's one tech thing that you can learn in your business in the next month to, it might save some money that you're outsourcing. It might mean that you're not making mistakes. It might be able to systematize or automate something in your business. So get smarter in that and invest in yourself and learn that tech thing. So you're not paying money to be kept dumb. All right, we're getting there. I'm just looking down because I've just got my bullet points below this screen. But lesson number 6 is to review your numbers regularly. And by numbers, I'm talking about that boring profit and loss statement or just your cash flow. Even if you've just got it in an Excel spreadsheet, Just look at it. How are your sales tracking? How are your expenses tracking? Finances, yeah, sure, they can go up and down. But the best way to get a handle on them is to really look at them closely. And I am the worst at this. Like if my husband heard me talking to you right now, he'd say, well, go practice what you preach, Laura. And that is so true. But I will definitely say over the last year or two of my business, I've got a lot better at looking at my profit and loss statements each month, getting my BASs in and getting them ready to go to be submitted before the due dates every month and stuff like that. But really getting a handle on your cash flow so you can see what's coming up, if you need to put money aside and anything like that, so you're not caught out. There's nothing worse than having to pull money off the mortgage to support, the business if you've had a couple bad months. And yeah, I've done that. I've done that many times. It just makes me feel terrible, makes my husband get a bit cranky. Well, what's going on? How are you going to fix this, Laura? And then, of course, I go back, look at the numbers and fix it. So look at your numbers before you get into that situation. Okay, we're almost at getting to the end of my 8 lessons from 8 years in online business, and I'm up to actually lesson number 7. And this one is to ask. This is a big one. All right, ask. Don't assume what your followers and your clients want. Sometimes when you assume, we've got that really strong gut feeling, you can be totally right. And when I launched my first online business, Sustainababy, 8 years ago, that was a really big intuitive feeling, a big drive. I just knew I had to do it. I was getting pulled towards it. Like there was nothing I could probably do that would stop me from creating that business. I was, and I didn't ask then. I just, probably knew. But there's been plenty of other things along the way, and I'm glad I did that. That happened, and that was great, and it was a success. But there's been plenty of other mistakes along the way where I didn't ask, or maybe I asked and I didn't listen, and that cost me time and cost me money in my business. So some of them are just innocent mistakes, but one, I'll share an example with you. So when I first created my Home Detox Bootcamp, now before I created that, I surveyed my following, asking where they wanted help in creating, a more sustainable lifestyle. And I had different options. So reduce chemicals from your home, organic gardening, reducing your household waste, all this sort of stuff. Reduce your home energy use. And reducing chemicals from your home was one of the top. So that was the first product that I created. Bingo. I asked and I listened. And then I ran that for 2 times. So I ran that twice. And then I was going to do a third one. I was investing in the membership site. And this is perfect self-sabotage. In the meantime, I just created a whole new entire e-course. And then I had to launch it. And this was all about reducing your home energy consumption. So it's called Greenhouse. Now, there's been a few people go through Greenhouse, but I launched it. I put rebuilding Home Detox and relaunching that on hold. And then I created this new e-course. And 11 people bought it. That's not the end of the world. But it put that launch of Home Detox, just bumped everything, back another 2-3 months. And then I launched that, and that brought in that was a $20,000 payday. But I tried to, get a lot of buzz and momentum around Greenhouse, and people didn't really want to know about reducing their home energy usage. They wanted to know about how to reduce chemicals and toxins in their home. Like they told me that, I didn't necessarily listen. Now, recently, you would see this too. I created that crowdfunding course, and it was pretty much launched to crickets. I mean, an honest mistake, yeah. But if I'd surveyed my following and talked to you guys before I'd done all that, I would have found out, and I've since found out because I've since spoken to many of you, that you don't actually want a crowdfunding course. So many of you, like crowdfunding's like light years away. It's like, you wanting to, get your business model sorted, get your website up and running, create your first Facebook ad, or just create one opt-in, grow that email list, get your first 100 followers. So of course, crowdfunding can help you do that all, a lot quicker, but you didn't want a crowdfunding course. You really prefer that really high-end coaching service that I offer. So ask, don't assume you know what your followers and clients want. And of course, what they want can change over time. 2014, when I surveyed, and to January that year, and they told me, my eco living followers told me they wanted the remove chemicals and stuff from your home. I recently just did a big survey last month, and that wasn't up there so much. They wanted to know more about waste now. Waste was pretty low on that initial survey 3.5 years ago, but this has changed over time. People are now becoming a lot more aware about chemicals and toxins. I want to learn a bit more about this now. So that's where I'll be focusing a bit more in my sustainability business. All right, so last lesson. This one's a big one too. Now, you can get to where you want to be on your own. I'm not going to say that you can't. There's so many successful solopreneurs out there, and sure, they might subcontract or they might have a PA or a VA and stuff like that, and just be sustainably building their following. But if you really want to go from here to here on your own, that's a little bit trickier. How do you get from here to here? You partner. You collaborate. You work with others. Sometimes you're working with people that you thought, probably were going to, like a few years ago, oh my God, they're my competitors. I don't want to talk to them. So the best people that I collaborate with, technically they could be competitors. We're targeting a similar niche or maybe a similar demographic. So you can get there on your own, but you'll get there much, much faster if you partner. There's so many examples of this in business. Now, I know a lot of you are into wellness and stuff like that, so you know of Jo Whitton with Quirky Cooking. And when she brought out her cookbook and partnered with Thermomix, that was an awesome partnership. Awesome partnership for her. She got distributed, all over Australia and beyond. But it was also great for Thermomix too, because they could get the credibility of a really successful Thermomix consultant and whole food blogger, which is Jo Whitton. So that was a great win-win one. I'm actually, not to give too much away, in my sustainability business at the moment, I've been approached by a very big partner and a couple for one of my online programs, and they can just get me, I can basically not just double, triple, quadruple, but just exponentially grow the number of people in my online programs through these partnerships actually, because it's an opportunity to be leveraged and changed around. So watch your space for that. But I just want to let you know, look, and you can pop this below in the comments too, who can you partner with to help your business grow? Can it be a school? Can it be a local council? Can it be another person in the online business space? You can do a collaboration. Maybe you can do a joint course together and pair up. So you can, and then you can tap into each other's followings. There's so many opportunities. All right, so there's some of my best lessons, in particular my 8 lessons from 8 years in business. So happy birthday to me, happy birthday to my business. I'm going to celebrate and just also take this opportunity to reflect and look back on my last 8 years and actually be really, really proud of what I've created. And I am intensely proud. And I'm going to put it out there too that I hope this time in 12 months' time, or definitely by the end of 2018, that I would love for my husband to be working in my business as well. So he's seen the lifestyle that I have and how much I enjoy the business. And when he was on long service leave not too long ago, he helped out in the business, did some SEO and some of the tech stuff, which he's amazing at. And he's decided, wow, he would love to do that in school hours and, help out with the after school activities with the kids as well. So that's part of his dream as well. But yeah, I'm very proud of what I've created, and I'm very, very excited with what's to come, especially with my big partnerships that are happening at the moment with one of my online programs. I'll keep you in the loop. All the very best to you as you continue to grow your business, and especially using the power and reach of the internet. The opportunities are endless, but please, please, please just remember that it's a marathon, not a sprint. Look after yourself and those who you love while you're growing your business, because you want them to be all there at the end of it too when you really smash those goals. All right, have a great week, and I'll catch you next time. Bye.